So far we have learned two rules of nomenclature. First one is to choose the longest carbon chain. Second one is if you have either functional group or substituent group present in a compound, then these groups should get the lowest number. Let's apply these two rules to name this compound. First we have to choose the longest carbon chain. So here I can see the longest carbon, right? And remember Cl is not the carbon, so you can't count it. So either you have to go from this corner to this corner or this corner to this corner. Let's number both the ways. So if I number from left to right, then this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how do we name it? Here Cl, you can see here, that's a prefix, and COH is a suffix. Therefore, first we need to name the prefix. It is attached to the first position. So we have 1 chloro, there's a 5 carbon chain, it's pent, all are carbon-carbon single bond, therefore we have ane, and we have the functional group COOH which is attached to the 5th position, therefore the last letter E should be replaced by 5 because it's a 5th carbon, and functional group is oic acid, the suffix is oic acid. Now what if we number the other way around? If I start from here, it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we can see that the prefix is attached to the 5th position. So this becomes 5 chloro, Cl is called chloro, 5 carbon chain again, pent, all are carbon-carbon single bond, ane. Now we can see that the functional group is present in the first carbon. So it is 1 oic acid. Oh, we got two different names, and these two rules do not tell us which is the right one, because the second rule focuses if we have either functional group or the substituent group, then these two groups should get the lowest number. But in this compound you can see we have both the groups, right? We have the suffix as well as prefix present. Now how do we choose which is the right one? To solve this problem, we introduce the third rule which states if we have both prefix and suffix present, then suffix gets the lowest number. Here suffix is COH and it has two positions 5 and 1. So 1 is lower than 5, therefore this nomenclature is correct and we don't have this. So this compound is called 5-chloropentane 1-oic acid, or you can simply call it 5-chloropentanoic acid. So as I told you in the last video, you can neglect this one part. If you don't write 1, it is understood that it is attached to the first position. Let's solve a couple of more examples. Why don't you pause the video and try first? Let's apply these rules to name this compound. So first one is to choose the longest chain, which I have already chosen. This is the longest chain I have. And in this compound, I can see both the groups present. That is the suffix as well as the prefix. Now let's apply third rule for this. So third rule says that the suffix or the higher functional group should get the lowest numbering. That means this should have a lowest number. So lowest number being 1, we can start numbering from here itself. So this becomes 1, 2, 3, and 4. So since we know now that this should have the lowest number, the other way around doesn't make any sense, so we'll not do it. Okay, so how do we name this now? So since chlorine is present in the third position, this becomes 3-chloro. We have 4 carbon chain, so the root word used is but. All are carbon-carbon single bond. We have ane, and last letter E is replaced by the functional group, that is 1-oic acid. Remember, I am putting hyphen here indicating that they are attached to this compound. So we have the name, it's 3-chlorobutane 1-oic acid, or you can call it 3-chlorobutanoic acid, indicating that if we don't mention 1, it's understood that it is attached to the first position. Now let's try to name this. So I can see that these two compounds are similar, only thing is that the position of Cl is different, and since we have both suffix and prefix present, we have to give lowest number for the suffix. So this carbon will have number 1, and we have the longest chain in this direction, so 2, 3, 4. Now we can see that the chloro group is attached to the second carbon, so we call it 2-chloro, and rest of the things are same, but, ane, 1-oic acid. Now do you think these suffixes will always have the lowest number as 1? Let's see some examples where it isn't. In these examples, we can see that the functional group OH is not present towards the corner carbon. It is present somewhere in between. Similarly, in this compound, you can see the ketone functional group CO that is present in between. So here, how do we number the carbon atoms? Should we start numbering from the carbon to which the functional group is attached? That means, should we start numbering from here, 1, 2, like this? The first rule we have is to choose the longest chain. So if I number the carbon atom from here to which the functional group is attached, then I'm violating the rule. So while numbering carbon, we should always choose the longest carbon. We cannot compromise with that at all. Okay, so if I start numbering from here like 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3, that means it will be having a shorter chain, and that is wrong. So giving the lowest number doesn't always mean that the suffix should get or the carbon atom to which the functional group is attached should always get number 1. No. So keeping this in mind, if I start numbering this carbon chain now, I can either go from left to right or right to left. So if I go from left to right, then this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm getting this position as number 4. If I come from right to left, then this becomes 1, 2, 3. I'm getting this position as 3. So now we can choose the lowest number by considering 4 and 3. So we know that 3 is lower than 4. Therefore, we can number from right to left. Okay. So if I do that, this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so since OH is suffix, we can directly start with the root word. 6 is hex. All are carbon-carbon single bond, therefore it is ane. Last letter E is replaced by the suffix of OH, alcohol, that is ol. And don't forget to mention the position, so it is present in the third position, so it becomes 3-ol. See, hexane 3-ol. Now in the next one, you can see that CO is the functional group present. So again, if I start numbering, giving the lowest position 1 to this, if I start numbering from here, then this becomes 1, 2, and this will be a shorter chain. So we always have to choose the longest carbon chain, and that we can do by going from left to right or right to left. So here I can go anyway, because if I go from left to right or right to left, I'm getting this position as 2. So keeping that in mind, I'll number the carbon 1, 2, 3. Similarly, I'm going to name it. 3 carbon chain is pro. All are carbon-carbon single bond. So you can see a double bond here, but that double bond is not with carbon. Therefore, you consider carbon-carbon single bond, and we call it ane. And last letter E is replaced by the suffix of ketone, that is 2-one. One is the suffix of ketone. Oh, okay. We have alkenes and alkynes coming into picture now. So let's name them using the same rule. So here we have to give importance to the double bond, since alkenes are also a functional group. If there are no secondary suffixes present, then we can give importance to the primary suffix. So here the primary suffix is alkene, double bond. I can go in 2 directions. So this is the longest carbon chain, right to left or left to right. So if I go from here, it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I go from here, then it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's name it both the ways. So if I go from left to right, then this becomes 4 is bute. We don't have any prefix, so directly start from the root word bute. Okay, here we have a double bond. So you can't tell that every time we used to write ane, right? But here you have a double bond, and now we have to mention the position for the double bond. So here you can see that the double bond is present between the second carbon and the third carbon. So now which one is having the lower number? So you know that 2 is lower than 3. Therefore this becomes 2-ene. What if we consider from right to left? So right to left, again you can see that the double bond is present between 2 and 3. Therefore it will have the same name, bute 2-ene. Okay, let's name the last one. First thing is to choose the longest carbon chain. So here I have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have a 5 carbon, the longest chain present. So either I can consider this carbon chain or this carbon chain. Okay. Now when we have both prefixes and suffixes present, according to the third rule, we know that the suffix should get the lowest number. Keeping that in mind, let's number both the ways and check. So this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, if I number it from right to left, this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's choose the lowest number for the suffix. So you know that if I go from here, the triple bond is present between 4th carbon and 5th carbon, so the lower number we have is 4. But if you go from right to left, we have the triple bond present between 1 and 2, first carbon and second carbon, so the lower number is 1. So obviously we know that comparing 4 and 1 is lower than 4, so we number it from right to left. So we choose this numbering, and with that, if I try naming this, since CH3 is the prefix, we give position for that 4, and CH3 is the methyl group or methyl group. We have 5 carbon chain, it is pent, and now we don't have all carbon-carbon single bond, right? We have carbon-carbon double bond, and which position it is attached? It is attached to the first position, first and second, but we consider the lower number, that is 1 and ine, because suffix of triple bond is ine. So we can call this 4-methyl pentyne directly. We can neglect this one. As I told you earlier, if we don't write 1, it is understood that it is present in the first position. Here we have few compounds which has multiple substituent groups. For example, here you can see that the similar substituent groups are attached to the same carbon. Here they are attached to the different carbon. Here you can see there are different substituent groups but attached to the same carbon, and here they are attached to different carbon. And also you have a compound which has multiple substituent groups, along with you have a suffix. So let's learn how to name all these in the next video.